Thank you for staying with us, guys. This is Legalazation Paso. Today we're going to be speaking with Matthew James. Matthew is an attorney at law, and he's going to be explaining to us a little bit about what this immigration ban that our president put into effect about 3 weeks ago, what it entails, who it affects, and who it doesn't. Matthew, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you. We're hoping you could educate us a little bit about this immigration ban. Can you tell us who it affects and a little bit about what it's all about?
Absolutely. So there's two different bans, right? You have the one that Donald Trump implemented about what, three weeks ago. Then you have the one that just applies to the southern border, right? So we'll hit the southern border one. As many of your listeners likely know, if you just have a visitor visa right now, you can't come across, which is having a significant impact here on the El Paso economy. Again, as you know, no one knows how long that's going to last. That could last for however long the president desires. The proclamation that he issued about 3 weeks ago around the same time is set to expire, I believe, in about 30 to 35 days. Now, what that does is pretty much say, hey, if you're abroad, you're going to have a bit more difficult time coming here with some type of status. For example, consular processing, which you may be familiar with. If you're a U.S. citizen and you want to make your spouse who lives in Mexico, help them become a green card holder, bring them over here legally, you won't be able to do that.
So what we're saying is that those who have a spouse that what they want to bring into the country, they're not going to be able to till the end of this ban.
Right, and we don't know when that ban is going to end. Well, we do. It says it's only supposed to be 30 to 35 days, but as you likely know, the administration can extend it. Also, we said who it applies to. It applies to people who are outside of this country trying to obtain some status. What it doesn't apply to is temporary worker visas. For example, if living in the Southwest, you go up the road to New Mexico, you have a lot of onion fields, cotton fields, things of that effect. They're going to still be able to get their temporary workers. For example, if you're in the U.S. as a green card holder, what can you still do? You can still become a U.S. citizen. So pretty much it says how it works is if you're here, you're good.
Right.
You're in. But if you're trying to bring someone else in outside of your temporary workers or your investor visas, things of that effect, you're not going to be able to do so until the end of the proclamation. I mean, we could get into the weeds a little bit more, but that's pretty much it. If you're a U.S. citizen, you're going to be good, and you're a green card holder and you want to become a U.S. citizen, and you're in the U.S., good. If you're outside the U.S. and trying to bring someone in, you're going to run into an issue. So that's kind of the bottom line up front. Yeah.
Now, our president has tied this ban to the economy and not the pandemic. Does this mean that we could expect him to continue to extend it, especially in the campaign year?
I would. I think he will. A lot of people have supported this ban, be it in his party. However, they ignore the fact that those who are coming in for work, temporary work visas, such as, here in southern, Southwest, here in Texas and New Mexico, people are still going to be coming over for a temporary work job. So I don't know who it really helps. If you're here, you can become a U.S. citizen. If you are a doctor, you can still come over. If you're an investor, you can still come over. If you only have skills to work in a field, you can still come over. So I'm not really sure who it affects. It probably is as you know, this administration likes to turn to immigration to feed the base. But even now, I don't know if it's working as well as it did.
Yeah, no, definitely. I too believe that was part of the intent of this. And I don't think it worked out for him because his base does not seem to be totally satisfied with this. And the other side of the bench is actually quite more upset with him as if that could happen. Mm-hmm. So it might have just backfired on him. However, I do think that this is one of those things that he's going to continue to extend and do a bit of pandering for.
I agree. I do agree. Would not be surprised if this is extended through the election year. Let's be frank. COVID-19 is not about to end in July, August, September, October, or November, or the rest of 2020. So I do believe that the administration will continue to extend it, and the basis will be for the public health, and it will be difficult. And that's why if you can adjust your status or become a U.S. citizen, I highly recommend doing it now because who knows how much more restrictive it could get if there's another administration, another 4 years of the Trump administration.
Right. The one we haven't touched on are student visas.
Still good to go.
All right.
Student visas could, student visas still could come across, especially with UTEP here. We've gotten a question whether, people can come here and with their student visas. Yeah, you're good to go. So if you're you're in Ciudad Juarez or in Chihuahua, wherever you may be, and you want to study in the U.S., you're good. If you want to come and you're getting recruited by UTEP to participate in sports, you're good to go. So yeah.
Excellent.
So yeah, again, I don't know really. It bans very few people. So I don't know really the benefit of it.
Yeah, quite frankly, it does seem more of a political ploy than anything else.
Absolutely.
So moving on to a bit different subject, more on the criminal side, Matthew. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on with the city, the marijuana laws, and do you believe that legalizing it would be what would be our saving grace for our economy?
Well, in El Paso, so just yesterday or 2 days ago, as we were talking earlier, if you're caught with possession of marijuana, and it's a Class A or Class B misdemeanor, which are somewhat minor. Class A, you can get up to a year in prison. A Class B is 180 days in prison. It will be now much more of a catch and release. It'd be, issue a ticket, have a court date, and then you have to come back. It will no longer be where they take you to confinement, where they have to determine whether you are paroled or you have to get a bond. And let's be frank, marijuana is not that big of a deal. It's 2020, and when it gets to your other question, whether it should be legalized, with my experience in criminal law, I don't know many cases that started with I smoked some marijuana and engaged in criminal misconduct. It doesn't happen. I was stationed in Colorado before it was my last duty station, and in Colorado, as you know, legalizes it. The roads are being able to build. The money they're able to pour in education is notable. Right. And again, I think we have, if someone is smoking a joint, I think we probably have bigger issues to deal with than locking that person up or providing that person a criminal conviction. And they do offer, for example, if you were pulled over and during the search instant to the arrest, they did find some marijuana on you, and there's a nominal amount, and they do desire to prosecute you. What they do have the first-time offenders program, right, where if you complete some type of program, there will be no conviction. So he and the district attorney's office have put in some programs where you get your first strike is not going to be a strike. You can kind of mend your ways and not be in possession of it, and that's important. As to whether they support it or not, I haven't heard yes or no, but I do have to note that the DA's office does provide programs where if it's your first time, there's going to be forgiveness, and I think that's appropriate as a former prosecutor. You should get a first chance. You could even get a second chance. But a prosecutorial job or a prosecutor's office job is somewhat to maintain good order and discipline. And if you give first, second, third, fourth, fifth chances, you're going to undercut your ability to provide good order and discipline. Now, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't have to, as a prosecutor, have to prove your case beyond a reasonable doubt. Of course not. But there's also importance to maintain good order and discipline, but also provide those who have fallen off the path an opportunity to get back and not have their lives affected by it forever.
Without a doubt. So, Matthew, I mean, this is one of those subjects that we could probably go on and on and on about, but if there is anybody who has more questions or who has had any kind of little issue here and there that they need to be taken care of, how can they reach out to you?
Oh, they could give us a call, 915-303-8062. Go to the website, thematthewjames.com, shoot us a link, shoot us a request for a consultation. It's pretty easy. We enjoy doing this work, whether it be the immigration or the criminal side. It's important work. El Paso is a great community, and it's important to deal with good people, and also we enjoy it. Here's the deal. There's nothing cooler than having someone come to your office who's a legal permanent resident and then going to their naturalization ceremony. That's pretty awesome, right? My grandmother came over on the boat, so I'm not that far removed. And then there's nothing cooler than seeing someone who is being wrongfully prosecuted and hearing the jury come back and say, not guilty. So it's good work, it's important work, and we enjoy it. So no complaints, no complaints. Yeah.
And we thank you so much for your work and for your time.
That's it?
That is it.
All right, buddy. Good
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.